Well, hello everybody, welcome to this exciting episode of Bob the Sign Man. So today I'm going to finish up on that previous video that I showed you how I installed. Remember, we took the road trip out of there, we installed those two signs out in Pope Canyon. So once, it's not a matter of just, digging a hole, punching a hole, and putting the sign in. You got to track them, keep track of maintenance, when it was installed, who installed it, the various variables that go on in that. So here's a little short video to finish up on what goes on behind the scenes after the install. Okay, once my sign is installed, I want to open up my iPad and I'm going to mark the location where it's at. I'm going to bring up my program. It's called ArcGIS. And the little blue dot is going to represent where I'm physically at right now. And I'm going to enter it in. I'm going to pick out the type of sign it is. It's going to be a warning sign. I have various MUTCD mods I can put in there, but I'm just going to pick the warning. It's going to go in the warning. Then I'm going to enter in the number that's, I believe that was size 501, sign 501. So I'll enter the 501. I like to just put that location and the ID number. Then I go back to my shop and I'll fill out all this information later. I'll show you how I do that. It's all located through my iPad and with the GIS program that I have, and it's really accurate. And then when that's all done, like I said, I'll just go ahead and I'll come back to the shop. I'll show you that a little bit later. And then what's unique about this program is you can see the little blue dot that represents my iPad in the truck right now. So I'm going to get in the truck and I'm going to start driving, and you can see the dot moves. That's me moving, and it's going to follow along. And whatever a sign, if I pass by a sign, if there were signs here, you see there's a sign coming up. It'll let me know. I can tell if the sign is in or out or what sign is coming up or anything. It's good for tracking missing signs or anything like that. So if I was to come up here and all of a sudden there's my blue dot by that sign and it's not there, I know the sign is missing. So it's a really good, valuable tool. So let's jump back into the shop now and I'll show you how I finish up with the entering the signs into the system. Okay, here's my GIS program that I use to track all my traffic signs for the installs. Each one of those dots represents, and this is our county right here, Napa County, each one of these dots represents a traffic sign. They're color-coded various colors. The yellow ones, obviously, they're going to be the warning signs. The green ones are going to be informational signs. White ones are pretty much regulatory. The solid red ones here are bike lane. So I have quite a few signs throughout the county, as you can see. As you scroll in, they'll spread apart a little bit. So keeping track of them, you can't just say, well, when was that sign installed? Well, let me dig through some paperwork and see if I can find it. Well, we got an easier way to do that. So after I installed those signs, I showed the video what goes on behind the scenes on installing a sign. There's more to it for us than just poking a hole in the ground or digging a hole or just putting up a new sign on an existing post or anything like that. What happens is each one of these signs has a a history of an explanation when it was installed or anything like that. So one of the signs that we put in there with the trucks entering and exiting the highway on the last video I did, I showed you some of the behind the scenes. People were asking, who installs your sign? So we went out, showed you my road trip there and everything, and the installation process that went through. So here's one of the signs that was installed. I showed you on the iPad how I just picked the spot where it was, entered it, then I go back to the shop. It's easier when I can sit down and do it on the computer. So here is the specifics on that sign. I entered the you can go into the edit mode, and that's what I usually do is click in the edit mode. That was a sign location 501 501. It was a warning sign. I have different various MUTD signs. I don't have that particular one. I don't think I have in my catalog there of the drop down menu, so I just put an MUD description in there. Trucks entering, exiting roadway. There's a drop down with various menus selections in there. I didn't put a milepost marker on that one just yet. It's probably just going to be a temporary sign that's going to come out down the road. So I have Pope Canyon and the road number, so we can easily look up, if we just want to look up signs that we're working on Pope Canyon Road, I can do that. Here's a sign description here. And it tells various things. I can put notes in here, subdivisions. We have various subdivisions. It just doesn't have a subdivision it's in. The type of post it was installed on, the mounting height, the size, the material, the size of the sign, who made the sign, who authorized the sign to go in, the current status. I can, drop down menu, I can put it's covered, damaged, needs repairs, missing, needs replacement, various things I can put on there, and then I can track it later for any future maintenance I need. Night check zone, that's a geographical location when we go out at night and check out the zones that need, if there's any sign missing or various reflectivities that don't meet standards. The sign condition rating value, it's excellent, I just installed it. And then we have various drop downs here. The date the sign was last replaced. Well, it wasn't replaced. It was a new installation, and it has a date that you can pop in anytime. Treatment, I have various treatments, pretty standard ones that we always use. And that was a new installation by the County Napa. That was a treatment date. Was it digitally printed? Yes, I printed that on the printer. These numbers here don't really mean anything. I enter those. Those are automatically. That's kind of like a fingerprint of the sign. All the details of it and stuff that's kept track by our IT department. And then serial number down here. This one don't have a serial number, but some of my chevrons have, serial numbers because they're electronic and stuff like that. Then we can go back and say, we can always track that serial number, and then my supplier has a record of when they mailed that to me or what the specifics were on that sign. So here's a little kind of like behind the scenes of, like I said, right after you install the sign, you're not done yet, or we're not done yet. Maybe different agencies might do it different ways, but this is the way we do it. And then each one of these signs that you see, all these dots for these signs, they also have a history tracking behind these signs. That anything that I do to them, if I trim the brush, clean the sign, it automatically gets put into another treatment thing, so we can look up a treatment history. And my treatment histories, some of them are on paper. I know that's kind of a pain in the butt, so I had to go through. I scanned them all in. I put them in alphabetical order for road. So I go all the way back to 1990. So I have about 35 years of history, which is quite a bit. And so that's kind of like a little behind the scenes here on what happens to traffic signs whenever they're installed. You drive by a traffic sign and you don't think about it. I drive by other areas, other counties, and I think about, well, what happens with them, but they might do things different than we do. But, this is just an overview of all the signs that I have. It's quite a bit. If I wanted to bring up exactly how many I had, I could come to my details, and I could do that's milepost markers. I'm going to go to my Sign Master editing. So right here, I have 7,070 signs in the county. So, and all those signs are right here. You see the 770. All those signs, some could be on extra posts or anything like that too. So the location ID, let's sort of sending. So if I come down to this location ID, I have approximately there we go. So each one of those is numbered starting at 1, and we go down to so I have about 4,987 posts, give or take a few here and there. So we're hitting close to 5,000 posts with about 7,400 signs. So, keeping track of those is, you got to have some way to keep track of those. A piece of paper and an Excel spreadsheet just doesn't work anymore.
Thanks for watching this exciting episode of Bob the Sign Man. To learn more about where the Sign Man gets his materials, check out www.bobthesignman.com. Bob the Sign Man Films directs and produces all his videos in the beautiful Napa Valley. As always, thanks for watching.